Look around you right now. There's a silent killer in your home that takes more lives annually than car accidents. Yet 150 years ago, it was hailed as humanity's greatest achievement. I'm talking about electricity, the invisible force that powers your life and sometimes ends it. What if I told you that the same invention that lets you watch this video has killed more people than sharks, lightning, and airplane crashes combined? The shocking story of how electricity went from miracle to menace, and why we still can't live without it, starts right now. Think about it. You're surrounded by it. It flows through the walls of your home, powers the device you're watching this on, and could, under the wrong circumstances, stop your heart in an instant. Yet most of us never give it a second thought. The birth of electricity. Before Thomas Edison brought light to our homes, electricity was more magic than science. Benjamin Franklin flew his famous kite in a thunderstorm in 1752, proving lightning was electrical. Alessandro Volta created the first battery in 1800. Michael Faraday discovered electromagnetic induction in 1831. But electricity remained a scientific curiosity until the late 1800s, when two men turned it into something that would change humanity forever. Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla, two brilliant minds with one deadly disagreement. Edison championed direct current, or DC, while Tesla, backed by George Westinghouse, pushed for alternating current, or AC. This wasn't just a scientific debate. It was the war of currents, a battle that would determine how electricity would power our world. Edison, desperate to prove AC was dangerous, publicly electrocuted animals to demonstrate its deadly power. In 1903, he even helped electrocute an elephant named Topsy at Coney Island, a moment captured on film that you can still watch today. The poor animal was fed carrots laced with cyanide. Then 6,600 volts were sent through her body. She died in seconds, becoming a grim symbol of electricity's lethal potential. Meanwhile, electricity was being marketed to the public as a miraculous safe technology. At the 1893 World's Fair in Chicago, Tesla created a dazzling display of electric lights that left visitors awestruck. More than 27 million people attended the fair, many seeing electric light for the first time. Newspapers called it a fairyland and a dream of beauty. Electricity wasn't just useful, it was magical. The contrast couldn't have been starker. The same force that could illuminate a world's fair could also end a life in seconds. And as electricity began to enter homes across America, both its promise and peril would soon become apparent. The dark side emerges. But as electricity entered our homes, so did danger. On August 6, 1890, William Kemmler became the first person executed in the electric chair, a device secretly funded by Edison to demonstrate the dangers of AC current. Witnesses described the execution as horrific. It took 8 minutes of suffering before Kemmler died, with one reporter noting, "They would have done better with an axe." By 1900, electrical accidents were becoming common. Workers installing power lines died from electrocution. House fires sparked by faulty wiring destroyed homes and took lives. In New York City alone, there were 4,000 electrical fires in 1914. That's nearly 11 fires every single day in just one city. And yet, there were almost no safety regulations. Early electrical systems were a chaotic mess of exposed wires, overloaded circuits, and deadly mistakes. Homes were wired by anyone who claimed to know how, with no standardized practices or safety codes. Look at this photograph from 1910 New York. Power lines tangled like deadly spider webs above the streets. One rainstorm could turn an entire neighborhood into a death trap. Children would sometimes climb these poles on dares, with tragic results. In 1897, a lineman named Michael Conley touched a live wire in Buffalo, New York. The 2,400 volts that surged through his body left him hanging from the pole for hours before anyone could safely retrieve his body. His wife and children watched from below, unable to help. Stories like Conley's were common in newspapers of the era. In 1899, the New York Times reported 47 deaths by electrocution in just 3 months. Workers called power lines death wires, and with good reason. But despite these horrors, electricity's advance couldn't be stopped. The benefits were simply too great. By 1925, Half of all American homes had electric power. The deadly and the miraculous were becoming inseparable parts of modern life. Hidden dangers in modern life. Fast forward to today. Electricity has become so common that we barely think about it, and that's exactly what makes it so dangerous. Every year, about 1,000 people in the United States die from electrical accidents. Worldwide, that number jumps to over 30,000. And for every death, there are many more injuries. About 30,000 non-fatal electrical shock incidents occur annually in the US alone. But here's what's truly shocking. The most dangerous electrical items aren't industrial power lines or high-voltage equipment. They're the everyday objects sitting in your home right now. Your bathroom is particularly deadly. Water and electricity create a lethal combination that kills hundreds each year. That hairdryer you use every morning, if it falls into water while plugged in, it can deliver a fatal shock in less than a second. Even a small appliance like a hairdryer can deliver 10 amps of current, well above the 0.1 amps that can cause ventricular fibrillation and death. Extension cords cause about 3,300 home fires annually, killing about 50 people and injuring 270 more. Many of these fires start when cords are run under carpets or furniture, where heat can't dissipate properly. Even your phone charger isn't innocent. In 2013, a Chinese woman was electrocuted when answering her charging phone during a bath. Similar incidents have been reported worldwide, often involving counterfeit chargers that lack proper insulation. Children face special risks. Each year, approximately 2,400 children suffer severe shock and burns from sticking objects into electrical outlets. That's about 7 children every day. And here's something most people don't realize. Different countries have vastly different electrical safety standards. The United Kingdom has some of the strictest regulations, requiring safety shutoffs in bathrooms. The United States? Not so much. In the UK, you can't even have a regular electrical outlet in a bathroom. They use special pull cord switches to minimize risk. This map shows electrical fatality rates worldwide. Notice how countries with newer electrical infrastructure often have higher death rates. They're repeating the same deadly mistakes made a century ago. In some developing nations, the rate of electrical fatalities is 10 times higher than in countries with established safety codes. How electricity changed everything. Despite its dangers, electricity has transformed human existence more than perhaps any other invention. Before electricity, the average American worked 10 hours a day, 6 days a week. When the sun went down, productivity stopped. With electric lighting, the workday could extend into the night, revolutionizing industry, but also fundamentally changing our sleep patterns forever. Studies show we now sleep about 1.5 hours less per night than our ancestors did in the pre-electric era. Home life transformed too. Before electricity, household chores consumed most of a person's waking hours. Washing clothes meant hours of physical labor. Cooking required constant attention to fires. Cleaning was a never-ending battle against soot and grime. Electric appliances didn't just make life easier. They liberated millions, particularly women, from domestic drudgery. In 1900, the average household spent 58 hours per week on housework. By 1975, that number had dropped to 18 hours, largely thanks to electrical appliances. In medicine, electricity enabled X-rays, defibrillators, and countless life-saving devices. The same force that can stop a heart can also restart one. The first successful defibrillation of a human heart occurred in 1947, opening a new chapter in emergency medicine. Today, automated external defibrillators save thousands of lives annually. But this progress came with environmental costs. Today, electricity generation produces about 25% of global greenhouse gas emissions. Coal-fired power plants alone cause an estimated 800,000 premature deaths annually from air pollution. The average American's electricity use results in about 16,000 pounds of carbon dioxide emissions per year, and our dependence has created new vulnerabilities. In 2003, a tree branch in Ohio touched a power line, triggering a cascade of failures that left 55 million people without power across the northeastern United States and Canada. The blackout lasted up to 2 days in some areas, resulting in at least 11 deaths and an estimated $6 billion in economic losses. We've become so dependent on electricity that its absence, even briefly, can paralyze entire societies. During major outages, everything from water systems to medical equipment can fail. In hospitals, backup generators become literal lifelines. The future of our relationship with electricity. So where does this leave us? How do we balance electricity's dangers with its undeniable benefits? Technology is making electricity safer. Ground fault circuit interrupters can detect dangerous current flows and shut off power in milliseconds. Arc fault circuit breakers can prevent fires before they start. These devices have reduced electrical fire deaths by an estimated 70% since their introduction. Renewable energy is changing how we generate electricity, potentially reducing both environmental impact and certain safety risks. Solar panels produce electricity without combustion, eliminating many traditional hazards. By 2050, renewables could provide up to 90% of our electricity, fundamentally changing our relationship with this force. Smart homes are revolutionizing how we interact with electricity. Your phone can now alert you if you've left an appliance on, or if there's unusual electrical activity in your home. Some systems can even detect the unique electrical signature of a failing appliance before it becomes a hazard. Artificial intelligence is being deployed to predict grid failures before they happen. In California, AI systems now analyze thousands of variables to forecast potential power line failures that could spark wildfires. But perhaps the most fascinating development is our increasing dependence on the very thing that can kill us. The average American home had 3 electrical outlets in 1950. Today, about 75. A typical household now contains more than 40 electrical devices, from smartphones to smart refrigerators. We're becoming more reliant on electricity even as we make it safer, a paradox that defines our relationship with this invisible force. As one electrical safety expert put it, we've tamed electricity, but we'll never fully domesticate it. So the next time you flip a light switch, plug in your phone, or turn on your computer, remember, you're harnessing a force powerful enough to stop your heart. Electricity remains both miracle and menace, a testament to humanity's ability to tame nature's most powerful forces, but never completely without risk. The deadliest invention you use every day isn't going anywhere, but understanding its dangers might just save your life. Simple precautions, like never using electrical appliances near water and replacing frayed cords immediately, can make all the difference. If this shocking journey through electricity's dark history sent chills down your spine, you're going to love what's coming next on future Flash Facts. Hit subscribe right now to uncover more mysterious dangers hiding in plain sight, solve historical puzzles that changed our world, and explore the thrilling, sometimes terrifying truth behind everyday objects. Drop a comment below telling me what seemingly innocent technology you think might be hiding a deadly secret, and I might just uncover its chilling past in an upcoming video. Stay curious, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next flash of history.